Hello, my name is Rick, and I'd like to show you my greenhouse here. This is where I grow lettuce. I'll get a closer view in just a minute. And it's now March 14th, 2015. I'm going to take off. This is just a screen to keep the chickens and the mice out because we do have rodent problems. This is a greenhouse with a double pane piece of glass. It's sunken in the ground, and I'll take a closer picture after this. What I do, it has two double panes of glass with an argon, I believe, gap in between, and it just goes like that, and I shut it for the night, and it can keep everything warm in there because of the thermal mass of the dirt around it. At night when it gets down to 0 degrees outside. And I also have, let me just open this up again. I open it up so we can have it doesn't overheat very fast. This one, when I have this, it's called a plumber's vent, and it pulls air from the outside and pushes it out these tubes, these 4-inch piping on the sides, flexible piping, and that keeps the temperature down for most of the time, except when the sun is pretty intense. It can get up to maybe 80 degrees in this, and then that causes the lettuce to bolt. I'll now show you some of these things here. Okay, this right here is what I call, what's called a plumber's vent. You can get them on Amazon for $35, and it has solar panels, two small ones in the front, and when the sun touches the panels, it causes the vent to, there's a little fan in there. It sucks air from the back here right through this. I have this little flexible pipe here that goes right in here. The air sucks in here, goes along the pipe under the dirt, and out the vent right behind here. I can feel some slight air coming in. It's not very much, but what it does, it vents heat and moisture over to this tube right here on the end, right there. And that tube is another 4-inch flexible pipe which goes out and down here to the edge. So right now, if it was shut, I would really feel the air coming out of this pipe. You can see the beautiful lettuce here we have grown. This is Redina lettuce right here. It's red, and what I do, I pick the outside leaves all through the winter. This is Gabrielle lettuce, this next one, also purple. This is lettuce Little Jim. It's crisp butter heirloom lettuce. And then this one is from Livingston Seeds. I'm not sure the variety. And this one is called Paris Island lettuce. That's what it is over here. And they're just lovely. It's really fun. So what I do, I pick the outside leaves that are big, like this one, and that would go in a bowl, or the outside one like this one, and then I have a good variety of lettuce. Right now the temperature in here is 60 degrees on my thermometers. So you can kind of get a feel for what this is in the winter time. It's facing directly south and makes a real good sunny greenhouse inside. When it was down to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, I came out after a couple hours of sunshine, and this one was up to 75 degrees. And there was snow all around. I have pictures of it, and that's not too good on lettuce. Lettuce likes it cooler in the 60-70 degree range. So Anyway, that's this one. Let's walk over to the other two greenhouses I have. What I'm going to do is put the lid back on. Here is the lid I made for these hot days. This is an unusually warm winter. I'm going to eat that lettuce. So I take this and I set it right there, and now it's on. So you can see no chickens, and there's my chicken out there walking in the field. We'll be able to get there and scratch around. Now we're going to another place here. This is one I experimented with. This is my wood pile, and you can see my glass here. I had one right here with soil and chard and kale and some lettuce, I believe. But within a short time, the mice came and ate everything up. I also had one on this side, right here, with glass tilted. I put these bags of leaves right here on each edge to kind of keep it isolated from the cold, and the mice got here too. So that didn't work. But these other ones I'm going to show you do work. Here is my old sandbox for the grandkids. And this first one is my oldest bed. You can see it's also slanted like the first one I showed you, about at a 25-degree angle to the sun from ground level. And there's glass here I've opened up this morning and I just laid it out. So let me go ahead and take this protective screen off of here. I'm going to go from behind so I can show you better about it. Okay, just lift it up and off like that. And I'll just take it over here. So that is my screen. I just have a stiff, these are makeshift screens. I have this wire, big heavy duty wire, 3-inch gap screen that I attached the 1/2-inch gap wire in. Here is my lovely little greenhouse. This is really good. All these lettuces are really yummy. This one gets the hottest of all the greenhouses because it's right out there in the sun, elevated a little more. I have reflective aluminum foil on the back, just like the first one you saw. I also have that plumber's vent, which pulls out the moisture and the warm air as soon as the sun touches the solar collector there. Also, you can see more clearly on this one, the flexible 4-inch tubing or pipe goes back here to a place which I have covered so the mice don't go in, right here. This is just a lid for a 4-gallon bucket so that when the rain comes it won't go in there and just flood it all out. Now you can see my tubing coming out right here. I have 4. Here's one right here, and then there's one right here. These are the exit vents, and I tried different things, and they're smaller than the 4-inch flexible ones which you saw at first, but they come out, and just like before, as the air is when the plumber's vent comes, air flows and it goes out these tubes right here. I have 2 more on the other side also. And you can see these bottles filled with water. That's just more thermal mass on the outside to keep it all insulated as best I can. The sand is all around this greenhouse. I call these all greenhouses. They're really not walk-in, of course, but they're just pretty open. But you can see I have here spinach, I have parsley, chard, kale, several kinds of, there's cilantro right there. It's kind of turned a little dark where it touched the cilantro, where it touched the inside of the glass. And I have planted here more things. I also put some azomite natural kind of fertilizer and minerals for this, so that we will have that transferred to our plants. Anyway, let me show you how this one works. So this one has a handle. So if I pull this up right here, like that, it has a handle which you can see. My little fingers around, and I just let it shut down, and it's all sealed up. On this one I also have a seal, a rubber seal right here. Goes around underneath the glass, and it works really good for on those cold days, so that air doesn't come in. If it gets, if it's kind of cloudy and intermittent, sometimes I take this wedge right here and I put it underneath like this. So you can see right there the wedge. Now there's a gap between the glass and the frame. This is 2 by 10 inch wood. It's fir. I just got it at the lumber store that I constructed all this structure right here with. And there's the wedge, and you can kind of see, and there's a good gap here between the seal of the on the top, staple on top of the wood, and the glass where the air can come out. Here is another one over here, a different design. This is also in the sandbox, and you can see the glass I've tilted back and put on the fence that it's leaning on. And this also has a plumber's vent right here, and over here on the sides, on this back side, and over here on that other side right there are the 2 vents. This one, on each of them, they go out like this and out to the side under the little blanket I have here. So you can see right here is the exit. This is, I bought this cap for this, I don't know if you can see it, but it just prevents rodents from getting in. So this is my bed where I've been planting a lot of new things, and you can see, I'll lift my screen up, which my frame, it's on a 1x2 frame. I'll just let it fall over there against the glass like that. And you can see what I have planted. I have a bunch of seeds. I probably did this wrong, but for instance, this one is Anaheim peppers right in this area, right by this comfrey that's coming up. I have chard, kale, I have chives over here. I have all kinds of lettuce, spinach, and they're now coming up, as you can see, and I planted them pretty densely, so I'll have to do something about this in a little bit. But anyway, this is a great medium for planting. This is a Mel's Mix. You can see how soft it is. I watered this morning. This bed goes down, as all the other ones do, about 6 inches, so that the bed thickness of Mel's Mix, which is a 1/3 vermiculite, 1/3 peat, and 1/3 a mixture of different composts. I put that in, and that's like what the square foot gardening recipe is. I put this in here, and then you can see on this one I have white fabric. This is really just a blanket I got at a yard sale for $1. So I just put that over there so it's reflective back into the main part of the growing bed. So this works out really well. This one also, I happen to have this shorter piece of glass. It was about 8 inches tall. So I made kind of a box, and so the incoming sun in the morning, since it's angled in the winter, can go in the side and shine in from there. Anyway, this one works great too. This one gets about 75 degrees during the day, and when it's about 60 degrees outside. And with the plumbing vent, when it's really cold, this one I just leave the glass on, and it vents the whole thing, and through the side portals, and it works out great. So this one is the second warmest. This first one over here is the hottest. It gets about to 80 degrees in a 15-degree winter day with as long as I scrape the snow off of the glass, it works great. And then I have to vent it or pull it all the way off and put that screen over the top. Anyway, what you have to do with these setups is just watch the temperature really carefully. You can use other materials besides glass. 2 layers of polycarbonate, which commercial greenhouse growers use, is great. It's more translucent. This is pretty transparent, as you can see.